Hello everybody, it's me, Player Negative, and in a shocking turn of events, I have something positive to say for once. Today, we're talking about the next upcoming Nintendo game, scratch that Sakurai game, Kirby Air Riders. So, if you guys aren't familiar with Masahiro Sakurai, he's known as the legend behind Super Smash Bros., as well as one of the very few creators at Nintendo who actually has some creative integrity and respect towards the people they're selling these games to. Now, with its newest game, he's become what's essentially a modern Theseus, where he's carrying Nintendo like a heavy boulder up a hill. With every passing moment, it gets heavier and heavier until he has to pick it up from falling and roll it back up again. And which, considering the state of Nintendo games nowadays, this couldn't be more needed. And you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, this isn't new news. You three are just piping off of Nintendo's failures for your own success. And that's another issue I want to talk about. Since YouTubers like me and many others have been choosing to speak out about this, there have been YouTubers who have stated that people like me are quote-unquote grifters. And this comes from delusions of people who are so obsessed with the company that the idea of criticizing it is considered asinine. When all I am doing is just pointing out the flaws with the company and the fact that I am actually explaining the fact that they're not being transparent with people. These people, for a better word, are just
coping and seeding. You just can't accept what you're seeing.
Which is why we're talking about this game, because I'm actually excited for this game, despite the fact it's not coming to the Switch 1, which is kind of annoying. But the reason for that is because it's made by someone who passionately cares what they're making and actually made a game people enjoy. I've been spending most of my downtime playing the original version on Dolphin Emulator. So you can imagine my annoyance when I figured out people like Hardman Smith don't want you to associate this game with its creator and rather with a faceless company. Which, to that I say, do you know why we use the term faceless suit as an insult? The reason we say this is because humans associate the thing a person creates with that person. People associate the invention of the light bulb with Thomas Edison. People associate the invention of Apple with Steve Jobs. People associate videos talking about canceling Disney Plus and speaking out against Nintendo with the real-life fake wizard. So for you to tell me that I should be praising the multi-million-dollar company instead of the man who put his heart, soul, and passion into creating something for people to enjoy is just stupid to me and so wrong, because he should get the credit, not the company. Sure, this might be under the Nintendo license, but on its own, this is a Sakurai game. If Sakurai really wanted to, he could just leave Nintendo and start his own company, which he has once or twice, but I genuinely feel like he did this out of pure passion. He's carrying Nintendo like a modern-day Theseus, and I feel like that deserves some respect. Talk about what he threw into this game. For starters, unlike Sonic Racing Cross Worlds and Mario Kart World, you know what they put into this game? A story mode. You know, the one thing everyone's been clamoring for quite a while. Another thing they did was make multiplayer more fun. They gave players lobbies to enjoy online discussions with each other. They created a customization system that allows you to create your own variants of all the different vehicles and then sell them with in-game currency so more people can enjoy those designs. And last but not least, they brought back the ideas that no one cared about just because he could. He managed to cram so much into this game, from the roster to the fights to the characters. He's doing everything he can here, and I couldn't be more happy. I mean, they managed to put my GOAT, Bandana Waddle Dee, into the game. That's how you know it's gonna be good. Honestly, he's my favorite Kirby character, and I really like him because he's shows the concept that the simple video game NPC or character like a Goomba can be so much more put to the test. Also, just the game's overall art style and design just feel like a massive upgrade. I've been playing the classic original game for the GameCube on an emulator, which is what the footage you're seeing behind you is, and I'm just so genuinely excited for it. My only critique, though, is that it's on Switch 2 only. To be honest, I would genuinely love to have backwards compatibility between the Switch 2 and the Switch 1. I would just love to have that. But of course, that'd be too much big of an ask for Sakurai to make to Nintendo, because how would they get the money? And I bet you that the game's gonna be on a key card and not actually on the physical box, so there's that. But overall, I'm excited. The game looks promising. And the best part is, there's no DLC, no microtransactions, no stupid online subscription bullcrap for better cosmetics, better tracks like a Mario Kart Booster Pass. It's just the game in its purest form, no end content carved out of it like a certain Pokemon game, and it's everything anyone ever wanted out of Kirby Air Riders as a sequel. And considering the competitive scene actually respects everything about the game, unlike Smash Brothers, I can bet you that it's gonna be a massive revamp for that competitive scene for this game. May I remind you that the people who have made a competitive scene out of the top city trial mode in this game have basically been playing the original GameCube game that was made back in 2008. What do you think they're going to do with more players, more power-ups, more characters, more everything in a competitive scene? Not to mention, they're making all those other stars that were put in a hierarchy from worst to best in a better state of mind. So I can't wait for that. This is a Sakurai game, not a Nintendo game. If you buy this game, know that you're supporting someone who actually cares about what they're making and what they are doing. And that's why I think Sakurai matters so much. He has been a genuine guy when it comes to Nintendo. When it came to Super Smash Bros., his body was physically damaging himself just to get the game done. He ended up in the hospital with joint pain for months sometimes. Yet he still kept going because he cared about the people who played his games. And that's why this game is so special. It's a love letter from someone who wanted to create something better. Another thing about him, he was actually willing to create a memorial to Nintendo's former chief CEO and creator, Satoru Iwata. Which, by the way, I am not gonna say anything about him because I feel like a lot of people will love to say that I'm using him as a way for narcissism or for cash. You see, a lot of those YouTubers who claim people like me are grifters claim I'm using this all for views. But the truth is, I don't get anything out of this. I don't get money out of this at all. Like, none of my videos give me a single sliver of cash. I'm doing this for the love of the game. And because just like Sakurai, I genuinely care. I'm going to vault with my wallet. I'm probably not going to buy the game until it gets a price goes on sale or becomes cheaper around the holidays. But to be honest, I'm cautiously optimistic for how things could go. If we could get more creatives in there who actually care, who could show that just making a game for the fun of it and for people who actually enjoy it is the way to go, things could come off on a much more brighter topic, much more brighter tone. Now, with that out of the way, let's get down to Pokemon Legends ZA. Ho ho ho! Because just some recent news came knocking on my door, and I couldn't be happier. Nintendo's armor in the Pocket Pair Power lawsuit is starting to crack. Now, it's only the first step. They haven't immediately lost yet, but one of their patents got rejected by the Japanese Patent Office, and I couldn't be happier. You see, Nintendo is planning a lawsuit with a 3-part patent. These patents are the ability to mount and ride creatures, something they claim they own, when in reality the first game to have mounting in at all was an Apple computer game called Ultima back in 1981. Second, the ability to throw a capture device to summon a monster. And 3, the ability to switch between a mount of sea, air, and land. And why Japan or America did approve of the summoning mechanic, something tells me that that's not going to stand for long, and people are going to start protesting against that idea. For the most part, I think that Nintendo has creatives in there with good ideas and good compositions. However, due to the people like Doug Bowser who want nothing more but just all that sweet, sweet cash, they're never going to get their day in the sun. So all we can do is hope and pray when Doug Bowser retires that whoever's running the ship will take things into a new direction, either for the best or the worst. I'm Player Negative, and I will be signing off. Well, in the words of the real-life fake wizard, create, innovate, and for the love of God, cancel Disney+. See you later. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.